From the studios of Foxboro Cable Access, located in the center of Foxborough, Massachusetts, you are watching Around Foxborough.
Hi, I'm your host, Tim Green, and this is Around Foxborough, where we talk about different things going on in the town of Foxborough and the surrounding areas. Today I have with us Darren Sawdy and his son, Riley Sawdy. Guys, how are you today?
Good. You?
I'm doing good.
Good. Let's ask your dad your question here for a second. Now, Darren, you own Forever Fitness, am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. How did you get into that?
Actually, it started probably about 12, 13 years ago. I used to live a very unhealthy lifestyle. I was 40 years old, and at that time I was 240 pounds. And I was just tired of feeling that way, so I decided to make a change. And I was involved in martial arts and athletics when I was younger. So I just started working out slowly, and then after about a year and a half, I lost 70 pounds, and I changed my life, and I wanted to help other people who felt exactly the same way I did. And that's kind of like how I got started. So then from there, I went and I got certified and been doing it ever since.
Okay. Riley, do you help out at stuff at the gym as well?
Not really. I help.
Dad's like, I wish he helped out more.
When we first started ordering things for the gym,
Yep.
I'd help carry boxes in and stuff like into our house. But other than that, no, I'm kind of just I'm on the back burner.
You're focusing
for now.
on school?
Yeah.
All right. And luckily, Riley helps out here quite a bit too at Foxboro Community Access too. We're very lucky to have him.
Thank you.
What inspired you to open the gym? I guess you already said that, but
I started at the Y in North Attleboro.
Okay.
And I was there for about 8.5 years.
Okay.
And I did a lot of different things there. I got to wear different hats. So I was a fitness coordinator for a weight change program, which is their weight loss program.
Mm-hmm.
I was also I was a Group X instructor. I was a personal trainer. And there, when you kind of do it, you build your own business. So even though you work for the Y, like the way you run your personal training is and how you set your hours is really on you. So it's kind of like you run your own business.
okay. I go to the Y in Foxborough.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've actually worked over there as well too.
Okay.
So I used to teach over there, just one class on a Friday.
Okay.
Years ago. But then after COVID did a number on that community, and I ended up going to a private studio. And I was there for a few years, and I just made a decision that I wanted to start doing things my way, and I wanted to be able to control the environment and control, different things as far as have more, have the ability to kind of really just dive in and work with clients and do it the way I want to do it, where I think it's the best.
Okay.
So,
what do you think makes your gym unique?
well, we offer classes that I shouldn't say classes because we do what's called small group training. So what we have at our gym is we do one-on-one training, which is one trainer, one client. We do buddy training, which is 2 clients, 1 trainer, and then we do small group training. Small group training is a minimum of 3 people with a maximum of 6. And what that is it gives you still a group environment, but it basically takes away the big group environment so nobody gets lost in the crowd. So each individual is getting better coaching than they would, say, if they were in a class with 30 to 40 people.
Okay, so like that big class that you go to maybe at another gym.
Sure. And we do classes, like I do a strength class, it's called Foundations of Strength. We do a TRX class, which a lot of gyms around here don't run TRX classes.
Okay.
TRX is a suspension training style class.
What do you mean by
So suspension training is basically they're suspension straps, and they're hooked to an anchor on the wall or on the ceiling, and then you use angles in your own body weight to create the resistance.
Okay.
So it's just different than using weights. It's just another form.
Is that
of
like
training.
the elastic bands?
No, it's just a straight out strap. Yeah,
Okay, really?
It was actually a Navy SEAL created it many years ago.
Oh, wow.
When guys were out in the field training, they didn't have weights and stuff to use. Right. So he said he took his judo belt and he wrapped it around a door and he just started doing rows with it. And then the way SEALs are, the way he tells the story is one guy sees it and says, "Hey," and then goes down to the airplane hangar and gets some straps that adjust, and then it just started that way. And now it's a pretty big, it's a pretty big training type of system.
Okay.
So, and I'm certified in that, so we do that. I'm also NASM certified, which is the National Academy of Sports Medicine. That's where I hold most of my certifications is through them. And then we also teach cardio kickboxing. We do a boot camp. We do a Tabata hit class, which is body weight and it's in timed intervals. And then we also do a mobility class too in recovery. So which is like foam rolling and stretching and things like that.
Okay. If somebody maybe wasn't a member of the gym or had not been to the gym in a long time, what would you say to try and get them back into it?
So when people reach out to me, I have them come in for an intake, we call it, okay? And the intakes all my intakes are free. It's basically, you're just coming in, we're gonna talk, you're gonna tell me what you're looking for, I'm gonna put you through a physical assessment, we go over medical history, things like that, and then I make a suggestion. If somebody wants to join, that's at that point in time.
Of course.
But everything we do is individual coaching, so it's not like you can come into my gym at any time, I should say. Everything's appointment driven. If we have an appointment, I'm there. If there's a group running, I'm there. If people have signed up for the group, I'm there. But other than that, everything is individualized coaching.
Okay.
And then we also do some nutrition coaching as well.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we kind of teach people how to eat and what they should eat, what they shouldn't eat. We don't do meal plans, but we do recipe sharing and we do just basic overall what not to eat and what you should be eating.
Yeah, it's probably, you see so much online, people especially nowadays with TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. It's got to be, you just see so much information that it's like.
A lot of it's misinformation too.
I would think so, yeah. I would think that you've seen some trends that probably aren't too
I'm not a huge fan of social media. We all need it for advertising and things like that.
Right.
But overall, I'm not a fan of it. And some of those people on there, they're the fitness influencers, they're in amazing shape. And maybe what they did worked for them, but it might not work for a 40 or 50-year-old woman who has a bad knee and still wants to get in shape and still wants to train.
Right.
And it might not work. A lot of the things that I see is on Instagram and stuff is very, very advanced, where the normal person couldn't even do half of it. And anyone that has never worked out and would go to try to do something like that, you're looking to get an injury. So with me, after I do an intake, I know. And we do the medical history, then I kind of have an idea of where you're at, and then I'm going to design a program that's going to help you get to where you want to be. Yeah.
And that involves diet, exercise.
That involves everything. So that we usually start, if somebody has never trained before, their first session with me is a mobility session. I want to see how they move and things like that. And then from there, we start by stabilizing the body. And then it's a tiered system. So you start on step 1, and then when you're ready for step 2, you go to step 2, and you're not pushed into anything that your body's not ready for. Obviously, I coach as fair. I'm not completely easy, but I'm not a tyrant either. But I will push you to where you need to be. It's just really knowledge and education and teaching people how to work out. So I don't just work them out, I teach them why they should be doing it.
Okay.
And how it's going to benefit them depending on what their situation is.
Okay. Do you have any success stories of any clients you'd like to share, maybe one that sticks out in particular?
Yeah, I have one woman, her name is Maria Meyer, and she was a woman in Plainville, Mass. To back up a little bit, I'm very fortunate to be able to have worked with a lot of people that I've been able to help, but she was one in particular. She had suffered from sepsis. She went septic from an undiagnosed case of strep years ago. And
that's odd.
Yeah, and she almost died. And she was a runner, and she had lost all of her toes. They were amputated. And then she reached out to me and had said to me, I'm looking to start getting strong again, and I used to be a runner, and this happened to me. And I was completely honest with her. I said, look, I've never worked with anybody with no toes. But, if we can kind of just communicate, open line of communication, I'll help you, we'll do what we can. And her goal was to get into a running program, especially for people like her, that had no toes or they're amputees or whatever. And before she get in that running program, she had to get strong, and that's where I came in. Okay. So we worked together for probably 1.5 to 2 years. She got into the running program. She ran a marathon.
Wow.
And it's been, she wrote a book, and I was very fortunate enough to write a chapter of that book. So it was very, very cool. So a great experience.
What's the name of the book?
I am a septic survivor.
That's okay. What was her name again?
Her name is Maria Papalia Meyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe the viewers can look up the book and look up
but
author.
it's I am a septic survivor. I think I'm a runner.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. I'm a runner. The story of a septic survivor.
Jeez. Yeah. I mean, I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah. So that was pretty amazing. And then I've also been fortunate enough to help some other people too, whether it be with weight loss or just movement or whatever the case may be. So.
Okay. On a little different note, how do you think the best way to develop like healthy habits, right?
Start small. Don't get your information from the internet. Some of it is, you can find some stuff that's legit, but for the most part, go talk to a coach. Go, in person. Talk to it doesn't have to be me. It can be any trainer, any that has, a decent level of education. Talk to a nutritionist. Talk to a trainer, and then I would start that way. But the simplest thing is if you cut out processed food, and you cook your own food. Try to not eat out. It's low on salt, low on sugar, that type of stuff, and usually you'll find yourself on the right path.
That's how Riley stays in such good shape here.
Yeah, he's gotten there. Getting him off of sugar wasn't easy.
I can't imagine. Sugar's by far one of the hardest things to get off.
It is. It's in everything.
Do you have any, other tips for getting off that?
Well, read your labels,
Yeah.
okay? Especially on your energy drinks and certain things like that. Gatorade has a ton of sugar in it. I don't promote anything like that. So a lot of times I tell people, if you don't like the taste of regular water, try to use fruit-infused water. So infuse it with natural fruit, just like put it in a pitcher.
Coke, nothing.
Nothing. No Diet Coke, nothing like that, because it's all filled with chemicals. It's all processed, artificial.
Yeah.
And some diet sodas they don't even use. They'll use some other sweetener, so they don't use sugar. But that sweetener is just as
Sweet
is worse for you than regular sugar.
Right.
So try to get your sweetness from like natural fruits and things like that.
Okay.
This
may be a little, I don't know, you just opened, so I don't, but do you have any plans for expansion or anything like that?
No. Right now we're in a 1550 square foot space. So it's a good sized space.
Yep.
I have turf. Our classes, like I said, our groups, I should say, are 6 people strong. We have 6 kick bags. We have 6 TRX mounts. We have, free weights, racks, cages, all that type of stuff.
All that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how would people find you?
So they can go, you can actually even Google Forever Fitness in Franklin, and I should come up on that. But you can also go to my website, which is the number 4, everfitnessinc.com. And if people want to get in touch with me, on there is a spot where you can reach out for any questions intake, and I usually get back to people within 24 hours.
Okay. Do you see, like, with YouTube and everything, do you see that people using that as like fitness tool in the future,
I mean, some people do that. So you could probably even find some of my old Y videos during COVID. We did a lot of filming, and a lot of those are still, some of them are on YouTube.
Peloton, right?
Absolutely. But yeah, there are some people that are online coaches that do a really, really good job.
Yeah.
Just if you're going to do anything with online, just research the person that you're doing it with.
Okay.
Just to make sure that it's right for you.
Okay. And that's the way you want to do it. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have any final words, maybe about maybe tips for people that maybe want to start their fitness journey at any level, really?
Sure. I mean, the first thing is that you have to change this before we change anything else. So breaking old habits can be the toughest thing.
Yeah.
People like to leave one toe in like I always say, keep one toe in the pool.
Right.
You're kind of keeping your foot in your old habit. It's really hard when you've lived a life for, some people, eat a certain way for 30, 40 years, and then they realize that they're in a position now that they have to change all that. And that's very hard,
right.
Because it's changing your mindset. Mm-hmm. The physical stuff is actually the easy stuff. It's changing the brain. So for me, what I do is, that's where my coaching comes in, and that's where constant conversation, and it's all individualized to that person. So, like when people come in and meet with me, we discuss that a lot as far as how to change that mindset and how to make small steps
You think that that's so like getting up and going to the gym in the morning? Like that, I think that most people struggle with that. That's,
Well, and a lot of times people struggle with that because they don't have a plan. So they'll get up to go to the gym, and then they're gung ho, and then they get there, and then they say, "What am I supposed to do?"
What am I
and that's where having a coach takes all of that away. So working with somebody it's just better for you because you're going to get guided and pushed in the right direction. And then your chance of success is just it's a lot higher at that point in time.
Okay.
So you're just giving yourself a better chance to succeed. Absolutely.
Just going in with a plan.
Yeah, you have to have a plan because if you're just kind of just running through random exercise.
Right. I think we've all done it.
Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason for it, and that you won't get the results you want, or you get bored because there's no variety to it. You're doing the same thing over and over again.
Right.
So, and then that people fizzle out within 30 days sometimes. But I've had clients that have worked with me for years. I've had some clients that want to come in and they just want a 3-month tune-up and then they're out, and sometimes they come back. And, but then I have others that really have embraced what I try to teach. And the type of training I do is something that's sustainable. Okay. It's not super extreme. Same thing with the nutrition coaching. It's not extreme. It's a slow progress where we're going to get to where we want to get to. And the more people do and the more they embrace it, the quicker their results are. But again, it depends on each individual.
Okay. So so how do you think the best way to, I guess you said, like you said, starting small and doing the little things, but I think I've been guilty of it myself, even been that person that I'm going to go for a month, been great, and then I'm on day 40 and it's like, it falls off, and now 3 months have gone by and I haven't been to the gym.
Sure. That happens a lot with a lot of people. And it's really, again, that's all individualized to that person. So what I always tell people is, for example, if somebody comes into me and they say, I want to train 5 days a week, right? And they haven't trained.
Right.
I know right off it's not even realistic. You're not going to make it in here.
I'm sure you've heard it too many times.
Of course. You're not even going to make it in here 5 days a week.
Right.
Okay. So let's go with 3 days a week. All right. And then start with those 3 days. Okay. If you really want to have any type of change physically, you have to weight train at least 3 days a week. And then you can do some cardio here and there. And it doesn't have to be killer. You can go for walks, things like that, steady state. You can walk on an incline on a treadmill. That's a good way to burn some fat. But the best way to burn fat is to eat healthy and to strength train. Yeah, absolutely. So I've done it both. I've done it strength training. I've done it with cardio. Cardio is great for when you want to exercise your heart, when you want to exercise your lung capacity, things like that. And your overall oxygen level as far as how far you can push yourself.
Right. Somebody that's getting back into sports.
Absolutely. Maybe. So like if you're a runner, then you're going to run more than say somebody who was weightlifting, right?
Yeah,
so,
right. I just started playing hockey 2 days a week, and it's like I haven't done this in 10 years.
That's a great sport. I love hockey.
It's great, and I'm like, I'm a goalie, and I'm like, this is horrendous. What did I sign up for?
But yeah, just like I always tell people, start small because that's going to give you. It's not going to overload you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think anybody, no matter, and it doesn't have to be fitness. If somebody didn't work for 5 years, then all of a sudden they go and get a job and it's a 80-hour-a-week job, they're going to be completely overwhelmed.
Right.
And it's the same thing in fitness. If you haven't trained in years and then you want to start training, there's nothing wrong with that. But just make sure that, talk to somebody, talk to a coach, but you don't want to go head on like you're running through a wall, because I have seen more often than not, everybody falls off that does that.
Right.
So it's usually have a plan, know what you're doing, and then that way you'll start seeing results. When you see results keep you wanting to come back.
Right.
So.
Okay, awesome. Well, Darren, once again, where can people find you?
I am at 275 Washington Street in Franklin, Mass. You can find me on my website, through Google, Facebook, Instagram, and cell phone, which is on the website as well.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
And Riley, thank you for helping out so much at the station. We very much appreciate it. Thanks for bringing your dad in.
Yeah, of course.
My name's Tim Green. I'm your host of Around Foxborough. You can find us at fcatv.org. And thank you so much for watching.